Hey guys, and welcome back to another indie book review. So much has happened lately. It's been very hectic. So I wanted to start off the new year with a nice indie book review and actually with a poetry book. And this book was written by an indigenous author. His name is Timothy Robare, and he's pretty active on X or Twitter. Not so much on Instagram or TikTok, to much of my knowledge at least, but we have talked on X and Twitter, and like that has been really a great experience, and connecting with other writers. But anyways, I picked up his book Writing with Wolves, and it is a indigenous author's perspective on poetry, I guess. And I was just really intrigued. I also just love the cover. It's really beautiful, and the feathers are absolutely gorgeous. I love the texture on them. But anyways, on the back there's also a poem. It says, "Hear the howls of the wolves on the wind. They can be full of love and warmth, or growling with hunger in their guts." A poetry book about wolves, the relationship with nature, climbing mountains, and indigenous roots all rolled into one. And honestly, I actually think that's a really great description, because I wanted to share 3 of the poems from this book with you guys that actually resonated with me the most. And I actually really do think that that's a great description because of how nature oriented this book is. But there's such an interesting perspective, and I think it's very specific to the writer Timothy Robare. And it's actually so interesting considering we have conversed before. And I actually feel like, at least in my own, understanding, that I feel like I have kind of not a better understanding of who he is as a writer, but kind of being able to also make comparisons to my own life, and, relate, if that makes any sense, in that way emotionally, even though obviously we are different people with different experiences. The first poem that I wanted to share with you guys is called Who Am I? And I'm going to read them all to you, by the way. Dictated by all but myself, not born on the reservation, but my family was. Not like everyone else where I grew up. Never fit in no matter where I go, because I don't have a pure bloodline to show. Half-breed but everywhere, even though I'm comprised of 2 tribes and some French, no one seems to care. What are you, they always ask. Sometimes I wonder myself, for I'm just a bent puzzle piece with nowhere to fit. Some call me Asian, some call me white, some call me names that I won't repeat. Some just want to judge me. I am no one and nothing, my skin is only so deep. Secrets and love of my ancestors I will keep. Black feather is a name some know me by, just a lost feather floating in the sky, torn apart from the inside until the day I die. And the reason why this poem really resonated with me, at least first, I think, was because, at least for myself, being a transracial adoptee, I'm not mixed myself. I am 100% Chinese, to my knowledge at least, adopted from China. But at the same time, I do kind of relate to those feelings that some mixed people go through, because of the fact that I was raised by white individuals, and because I was raised by my white mothers, and I didn't have that Asian cultural background or growing up, if that makes any sense. So I kind of have similar feelings of being caught in the middle and not really knowing, having struggles with identity, if that makes any sense. So I really loved that poem, actually. That poem stuck with me the most. The second poem that I want to read to you guys is called Tell Me. And this one I really enjoyed, especially the phrasing, or I don't know, formatting, if that makes any sense. It was very unique, and I very much enjoyed it. I don't know, it's artistic to me. But this one is Tell Me. Tell me what I'm supposed to be. I've been called by many things, by many people, often disrespected when I tell the truth. Others care about my genetic composition more than my disposition. I am proud of my heritage, but do not tell me what I am, for my people have been destroyed, culture burned and killed. Then on top of that, I am only partially accepted because I didn't grow up in the same place. I have no place, no home. My roots are like the buffalo, born to roam, it seems, because everywhere I go, I am something different. I have been called a mongoloid, a sand N-word, a beaner, a spick, and more. Many look at a book and think we should all look the same, when not every tribe claims the same name. I am slaughtered from birth, destined to be no one, half a man in different realms, trotting through fires in this earthly hell. I tread the earth and give it praise and love, while my peers judge and swallow me up. I'm forsaken in more ways than I can speak. Peace in the mountains and the rivers I seek. Oh my gosh, this poem resonated with me so much in the sense that, like, similar to before, you know, having feelings of being caught in the middle, but also feelings of isolation and loneliness and solitude, in the sense that, you know, feeling alone in these emotions, but also seeking comfort and seeking solace in nature. And at least that's kind of my own personal take on it. From what I know about Timothy, at least, is that he does love to travel, and I've seen his travel photos and videos that he's posted on Twitter, and they've looked absolutely amazing. So it's kind of interesting, like I said, being able to have this, like, inside perspective now of, like, you know, who he is as a writer. And I feel like this book has actually helped me get to understand him as a writer much better. And also I can relate in my own way, like I said, to taking comfort in nature, because nature has always been very big for me. I love animals. I have pets. I have many pets, and that's just something that I've always, you know, held very close to my heart in a very similar way. But I'm not going to say that it's not the same, if you know what I'm saying, as like maybe what an Indigenous person goes through in regards to the connection with nature. I'm not going to speak on that just because that's not my own thing to speak on, if that makes any sense. But I will say, at least from my own perspective, I've been able to relate to that and seeking comfort in nature. The last poem that I want to read to you guys is called Departed. And this one actually hit home too as well. And this one, I think, ooh, if I had to put them in order, actually, now that I really think of it, I think it would go the second one, the first one, and now this one. But okay, I'm going to read this one to you. Departed. Take me from the world, under the water, thrown from the mountain, inside the cougar's mouth. I am departed as it is. Every animal I see dead along the road, every piece of concrete against the natural world. Always out of place, I feel, aside from when I am communicating within nature itself. Communing within nature itself. Communing? I never belonged in these human-made cities. For me, it is the opposite of health. I wish to depart this world in peace, a world of destruction and terror. With poisoned water and poisoned air, take me from this world, I do not care. Water sparkling with oils on top as turtles swim below. Set me off to sea, I must let go. And as much as I love this poem so much because it resonates with me in the sense of feeling hopeless and feeling just so lost in the artificialness of this world that we live in now. And like, he's right, concrete cities, and, you know, animals don't even know where to go anymore. It's just, the look of confusion on their face is just heartbreaking when you see like a deer walk through a neighborhood or something, or like walk across the street and it's just looking around, and you could tell it's just like, what the fuck? But anyways, that poem spoke to me in the sense that, like, I've gone through those similar feelings, and I've gone through those emotions of, at least in my own case, you know, dealing with mental health issues and dealing with, you know, having those feelings of wanting to give up. But reading that poem actually meant a lot to me in the sense that, like I've been saying, it helps me kind of gain that insight into Timothy as a writer, but also, like, I love the way that he used his words, because it helps, like, it really helps, like, what I was feeling on paper, if that makes any sense. I couldn't have worded it better myself just because it was so specific to him, and I really do like his writing style through poetry. I haven't written his novels yet, but this poem, at least, Departed, really helped me feel less alone in those feelings, and I just wanted to verbalize that because it is really important. So if anyone is looking for a good poetry book and wants to support an Indigenous author, I highly recommend Writing with Wolves by Timothy Robare. Definitely check it out. Definitely worth the read. And I would say if you're the type of person that connects through nature, connects through solitude, I really don't know how to describe this, but almost as if you find your connection through the solitude of other people, if that makes any sense. And it kind of helps you feel less lonely in your own solitude. I highly recommend this book. So I just wanted to share that with you all for my next indie book review. And for the next one, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. But yeah, if you guys like the poetry books included as well, let me know.